All right, we did not have time for the wrap-up for Module 4, Readiness Assurance Process Quizzes. So here we go with the screencasts. First, let's talk about 1 and 2. A couple teams missed those. I've reproduced the page here, but it's a little small. You guys have better eyes than I do, so hopefully it's okay. This first one, there's a laser pointer. According to the textbook authors, what do the dashed upward arrows mean? It's these. Who reports to whom? Not a bad guess. Responses to take it or leave it offers? No. Uncertain employment status? Maybe, but so not a bad answer. But you'd have to have it in your notes. In describing the model in Chapter 6, Section 2, probably, maybe Section 1, they talked about those upward green dotted arrows as representing asymmetric information. The idea here is the board of directors own the company and they issue orders, and they try to be clear about that, so there's no asymmetry as they instruct the manager or managers. That manager also has all these underlings, and this is a relatively simple corporation. Some corporations have many levels of manager. Anyway, the manager issues hopefully clear instructions to the employees, but the problem is the employees give back information that might not be entirely true. In particular, effort in these labor models and management models tends to be a big variable that it's really hard to know for a manager which employees are working hard and which are not. And it just, the manager can't observe inside a worker's brain. Is somebody taking a long time to program a section of code because that's a really hard section of code to write, or are they a slacker? It's really hard to know. So anyway, the correct answer is D, and asymmetric information, and yeah, several teams did miss that. Moving along, question 2 was also a hard one. Consider the job of a police officer, hard in the sense that some team or another missed it. Consider the job of a police officer. Why is the employment contract between the police officer and the city employing her necessarily incomplete? Well, let's look at our choices. The city cannot own a police officer the way, say, a buyer of a car owns the car. Well, that's true, but the question is why is the employment contract between the police officer and the city employing her necessarily incomplete? So just because I don't own you doesn't mean that I can't have a complete contract with you. So A is sort of out. Laws prohibit the city from specifying the exact tasks required to do the job? No, that's somewhat of an absurd distractor. C, the police officer would not sign a contract that failed to specify the work required. Actually, that's not bad advice, but plenty of people sign contracts all the time that don't specify the work required. In fact, here at Pacific, I was being lobbied to be the director of the School of Social Sciences, and I just kept asking. Well, it wasn't the deciding factor, but I asked and asked and asked. What's the job description? What does the job entail? Nobody had a job description. Somebody before me, 2 people before me had signed that contract even without a description. Anyway, finally, the city cannot observe the level of effort the police officer exerts on the job. That's the winner right there. Sorry, I circled the wrong one. There it is. That's a common problem with employment contracts, is that you can set the terms of the pay, you can set the terms of the expectations of the work to be done, you can specify, but at the end of the day, it's really hard to know, really hard to observe the level of effort that a policeman is actually exerting. And that's not just true of police officers, but all throughout the economy. All right, well, I think that's long enough for this screencast. I'll answer more of I'll give answer keys to more of the hard ones in subsequent videos.